I'm here with the Hyundai IONIQ plug-in hybrid prototype. Looking forward to driving this. We've just gotten out of the electric car and we've done a drive in the regular hybrid. About 27 miles of electric-only range, which is pretty ideal for a normal driving commute or circumstances in a day. You could feasibly drive this to work, charge it during the day, or drive it to a location, charge it very quickly, and barely have to use much gasoline. And since this is a prototype, it's always worth to note that not everything is going to be production. Things like sound deadening and tuning and all that stuff is probably not production ready. So just keep that in mind as we're driving. This is a pretty exciting car for me. One reason is, so there's some highlights that Hyundai have really they've achieved some impressive numbers and stats and just kind of some impressive ground with the new IONIQ. The first of which is this car has a really low drag coefficient. It comes in at 0.24, which I believe ties the Tesla Model S and the new Toyota Prius for like the best drag, the lowest drag coefficient of any car on the road on sale today. Whoa. The other standout feature on this car is it has a ton of range. Right now, we have a decent amount of electric power left, and it's saying on the gasoline range that we have 593 miles of range left. So you can get 600 miles out of a tank of gas, or 600 plus miles out of a tank of gas in this car. You do a road trip, you'll have to fill it up once. You typically won't be driving more than 600 miles in a day. Pretty impressive. And as far as fuel economy, this should be getting around 58 miles to the gallon, which is better than the Prius. So impressive stuff. This kind of combines a dual clutch transmission with the hybrid powertrain. And based on my experience that I just had in the regular hybrid IONIQ, it works very well. This is a very nicely mated drivetrain. The DCT is smooth. You don't necessarily have a lot of lurching or just kind of inconsistency as normally associated with consumer grade dual clutches. It's very smooth, and it's tuned to be a little bit more eco-friendly than like a sporty DCT that you would find in other cars. One thing I'm noticing is it feels like there's a little bit more power in this car over the regular hybrid, and a little bit more engine noise, though the engine noise could be down to the fact that this is a prototype vehicle and the sound deadening hasn't quite been put together. The verdict is kind of out on that. Decent handling, nice level of grip. I believe I think this is maybe the 16-inch wheels. I'll check when I get out, but pretty nice driving dynamics from these cars. Also, being a hybrid, brake pedal feel is very good, considering that it's a transitional system that goes from regen to actual braking power. The brake pedal feels like a normal brake pedal, which as an engineering feat is impressive. So of course right now we have, you can see your electric only range on the right there. We have quite a bit of electric only range. You have a eco meter on the left that basically just shows you your throttle input, and if you exceed that throttle input, the gasoline motor will kick on and give you some extra power. This isn't like the Chevrolet Volt where you're only electric and you have basically a gasoline generator charging a battery. This is a hybrid system. Let's pull over here, and I just want to kind of take you around the car a little bit. We'll do a quick walk around. Nice turning circle there. Okay. So in this model, I don't know if there's how much information there is, or if there's a Romanoni or anything like that. I don't imagine there's going to be a whole lot of info in here. Nope, there really isn't too much. So I actually don't really know what model IONIQ this is, or it's supposed to be. But you've got heated seat controls. You've got a button that you can switch between hybrid mode and electric mode. So you could effectively put hybrid mode on hold if you're going to be doing some hybrid or some highway driving where being in electric mode is going to be not very advantageous. Lane keep assist, blind spot illumination on the side here, and traction control buttons, and then your general steering controls that control your various screens and information systems up here. I've always found Hyundai's infotainment to be relatively intuitive to use. Nice displays, good graphics, no complaints there. You've got some climate control where you can do driver only or individual temperature. And then you've got some USB and auxiliary audio ports with two 12-volt car outlets, and the key charging system for phones that accept that. Sunroof, place to put your sunglasses, and then smart mirror with all of your garage door buttons and stuff like that. Telescoping sun visors, which are always useful. Let's set this to a normal riding position, and see what type of room there is in the back seat. They've packaged this car so that the power plant is pushed a little bit more forward, and it allows for more interior space. So this being a smaller vehicle, you actually get quite a bit more interior room than you would in other cars in this segment. Pretty comfortable in the back seat. The front seat could go forward quite a bit more, and I would still be able to fit a pretty tall driver up front. But back here it's nice and comfortable. There's a decent amount of headroom and lots of legroom. It's nice, you don't feel cramped back here, and there's good visibility. Decent amount of trunk space, especially considering that this is a plug-in hybrid. So let's see if there's you've got a little bit of extra storage space down there. No spare tire, but you do have a tire mobility kit. Fold the seats down, even more cargo capacity. The batteries in this are kind of behind and under the rear seat compartment. So that does enable you to have a little bit more cargo capacity or interior space. I'm going to leave this key in here so we stop beeping. Let's pop the hood, see what's under there. Sorry for the wind. All right, we've got an engine and a battery. Pretty standard hybrid action in the front section. One thing that's interesting, This does have a 0.26 or 0.24 drag coefficient, but it doesn't necessarily look super sleek and super efficient. Like it's not a crazy looking design. It's a very clean and simple, and I think aesthetically pleasing design. But it's not like they've gone to extreme lengths visually to achieve that low coefficient of drag. Touch points in this. This is not a base model. This is definitely one of the more loaded IONIQs. You've got pretty much all the features here. I would say this is probably a top spec. We've just learned about all this stuff today, so I don't know exactly what model this is, but I'm sure it'll say in the description. But really nice touch points. The steering wheel has a really nice soft, supple leather to it. The size, I like the thickness of the rim, and it has kind of this flat bottom to it, which is just a nice, pleasing aesthetic too, and it feels good. It feels good in the hand. I do have to say this is one of the best brake pedals I've felt in any hybrid / electric vehicle. It's very linear response. There's none of that weird sponginess between the transition of regen and braking. So good job, Hyundai engineers, with the brake pedal. I mean, this feels like a normal car. The dual clutch is very smooth. It's quick. It's pretty quick to respond as well. I would say it's kind of in between one of the sportier dual clutch transmissions and a typical torque converting automatic. You don't have paddle shifters in the back, but you do have a sport mode that also is going to increase response as well. And when you shift to sport mode, of course, you get a different gauge cluster display that shows you your RPM. Nice quick shifts, fast downshifts as well. Not blistering performance, but it's definitely fast enough. And for the type of numbers that this puts out in regards to fuel economy and range, very, very acceptable for this segment, if not class leading. I do like the fact that you have a dual clutch transmission instead of a CVT, which is typically what you see in this type of car. Those of you who are very against CVTs and everything they stand for, you may rejoice, because this definitely delivers in the powertrain. All right, we're going to cut ahead to some better driving roads, and we'll kind of pick things up and see how this car handles and feels around the bends. At the roundabout back there, I was pretty impressed with the level of grip. It felt pretty good. I've been driving these cars around all day with the car full of passengers, so this does feel a little bit quicker and a little bit grippier than it did earlier, and that may have something to do with it. All right, let's test some handling here. I am noticing that the steering is just a little bit heavier than the electric vehicle and just the general hybrid IONIQ. The steering has a nice weight to it. There's a good amount of grip, and this definitely feels like the quicker vehicle in the lineup. Personally, I see this as the most attractive IONIQ of the three. I really love the idea of a plug-in hybrid. I like that you could drive this in most daily situations without even necessarily needing to tap into the gasoline engine. You could basically drive this, I would say 80 or 90% on plug-in power from just charging it in your garage at night or at a different location throughout your day. But yet you have the range and the power from a gasoline engine that allows you that added flexibility and practicality. Let's do a 60-0 braking test here while we have the road. Pretty good brakes for Eco tires. Now let's find some acceleration here. Ooh, wheel spin through first. That's a first today. And there's 60. This plug-in hybrid is definitely quicker. We weren't getting any wheel spin in the hybrid or even the full electric version. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Quick, crisp shifts from the dual clutch too. No jerkiness or anything funky going on. Now, one thing to note today is it's super, super windy. So you're going to be hearing a little bit more wind noise than you would normally. We have just a lot of wind today. I'm not even recording much outside because it's been so windy. One minor complaint is I don't really have paddle shifters behind the wheel. You do have a pretty nice controllable shifter down here, but that's about it. You can put it in sport mode and it's going to give you just a little bit more of a sporty driving experience, however. Nice steering weight, not a ton of feel, but good direct response. You can feel what's going on and how much grip between the noise of the tires and also just kind of the way the chassis is moving around you. Really no complaints as far as the feedback that you're getting from the car overall under high cornering situations or high speed cornering situations. This isn't a sports car, and it's not even a, I would go so far as to say as a sport compact car. But for what it is, this has a very usable amount of performance and is very comfortable and just organic to drive. First impressions on this are really good, and this is also a prototype as well. Keep that in mind. Hyundai have developed a good platform here, though. I'm very impressed with what they've put together. Good example of the turning radius. Very, very good. Alright, so this is about the maximum acceleration you're going to get in full electric mode. It's definitely enough for daily use, and if you're going to need to get out of a quick situation, you're going to tap into the gas engine when you floor it, but it's not like you're going to be holding up traffic in just full electric. Let's do some handling testing here. We're getting 75.5 miles to the gallon driving like this. How great is that? I think that's awesome. Let's take it onto the highway here. We'll see how it does. A little bit higher speed cornering. Put it back into sport mode. Sport mode is hybrid only, so the gasoline engine is going to run all the time for that added performance. There's definitely some more power in this plug-in hybrid. And of course, you have the whole suite of safety and lane departure and radar guided cruise control and all that stuff, blind spot detection. I would say within the IONIQ lineup, this is the most solid feeling car. The steering has a little bit more weight to it. This overall just has a little bit more of a premium feel. Most of the materials are the same, but the steering wheel has a really nice leather to it. You have a lot of technology and features here within the infotainment. And I think practically this may be the car that would fit most people's lifestyles. And it's what I personally prefer. Even though this is a prototype vehicle, this is definitely my favorite IONIQ that I've driven today, out of the hybrid and the electric. We're here just cruising at 70 miles an hour, full electric mode. Our battery is about to run out, so I'm going to switch to hybrid mode and the engine's going to turn on. Though it looks like we may still be an EV. Alright guys, well I don't really have to have much else to say about this. I think that's going to kind of wrap up the review. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, what you think. I believe this plug-in hybrid it's going to be coming out later this year. I think kind of in the fall or thereabouts. But let me know your opinions. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.